Hey, this is Jonathan here at SSP, and over the next couple weeks I want to talk about an epidemic that is sweeping the nation. And no, I'm not talking about the Ebola virus. I'm talking about sitting. Sitting. Americans sit all day long. So whether they're at work, whether they're at school, whether they're at home, whether they're in their car, or even working out in most gyms, it's predominantly done around sitting. And it's bad enough to where, most people live a sedentary lifestyle, but at least, most Americans know they at least should exercise. But what they don't know is that prolonged sitting can have a lot of adverse effects on the body, including each joint. So we want to kind of address those and look at, some of the things that we can do to maybe help joint pain a little bit and even that prolonged sitting position. So I'm going to have Sean come into my chair. My sedentary adult. He works a 9-to-5 desk job, so he doesn't move. So I want to look at this position here in sitting. So basically what happens over the course of a day, and then you add weeks, months, years in this position, is we're going to be leaning forward. So we get tired in that position. The head's going to kind of be dipping forward. Those shoulders are going to be rotating in. So this front part, the pectoral anterior delt, it can get really tight in there. So we want to be able to open that up through different corrective exercises. But what I want to stress here and look at most importantly is this area of the back here, the posterior. So we have this big long area called the T-spine, or thoracic spine. And what happens in this prolonged seated position, we're rolled forward. So again, these muscles don't move, so they get locked up, so they're pulled out this way. Same thing with these muscles. We're being flexed forward in this position, and over the course of 8, 9, 10 hours in a day, they just don't move. So what we want to do to correct this is we want to basically do the opposite of this body position. So we want to be able to get retraction, we want to be able to get extension coming back to alleviate that position. Okay? So Sean, if you get me on the ground for me. So I'm going to use my trusty little peanut. This is probably one of the best investments you can make. It's 2 lacrosse balls and duct tape, probably a total of like $5. So make one for yourself. All right, so we're going to get on the ground here. So first we want to get in the right position. So we want to get some movement here. And this is the point of this trigger ball, is to get movement through these muscles that tend to be lengthened and don't move from sitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ball, we're going to place it right in the middle of our shoulder blades. So if he was to pinch back, he could pinch both of those little lacrosse balls together. Okay, so keeping that position, we're just going to go back, and just relax your head for me. So the first thing we want to do is called shoulder rolls. So our knees are up here. We have a good position, lumbar spine or low back flat on the ground. So much of the compensation here is we'll tend to arch here because we don't have a lot of movement at that upper portion of the back. So we then compensate through that lower portion. So what we want to do, place it nice and tight against the ground. So now we're going to bring both arms straight up. So we're going to do shoulder rolls. So I want you to use that left arm here. So what I want you to do is take a big circular motion through that lacrosse ball. Okay? So press down. Try not to bend that elbow. I want you to visualize you're like holding a plate of food. Okay? So don't spill the food on your face. Okay? Up, down. Good. And as much movement as we can get through this shoulder, try not to compensate by bending the elbow. So let's do a couple more. Good. We're rolling back. Getting big circles through. Again, trying to get movement through those rhomboids in that area. And let's go a couple of opposite ways. So we're going to push through, and that straight. Good. And like push down through there. Push down through there. Good. And you can spend, anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. You can count your reps if you want, but the goal is we want to try to get some movement in there. It's going to be pretty painful. If you haven't done this before, try to go to that point to where you feel some kind of change, some type of relief. Okay, so those are the shoulder rolls. Next, another one, we want to get the big erector spinae muscles. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross our arms here. All I want you to do is flex forward. Now what we're working on here is not doing the same position as sitting, but we want to brace or squeeze our lumbar spine so our abs are just rock solid. So our goal again is to get movement through that thoracic spine, not the lumbar spine here. So squeezing tight here, we're just going to crunch up and then going back. And notice how the spine is folding over those 2 lacrosse balls. So we're coming up and then going back. Good. Keep it nice and tight. Rolling up. Good. And again, 10, 12, 15 repetitions, kind of like in that muscular endurance set there. Good. And sit up. Next, what we want to do, we want to roll down about 2 to 3 inches, okay? Staying in line with the spine, 2 to 3 inches, so leaning back. So we get a little bit lower. Again, that thoracic spine is the longest part back there. So we're going to squeeze his lumbar and reach up. Good. Squeeze. Up. Good. Squeeze. Excellent. And again, you want to spend a little bit of time on this. So, 1 to 2 minutes, even longer if it's really painful. Make sure you spend some time on those lacrosse balls. Okay, sit up for me. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our foam roller here and we're going to place it right in the middle of that back. Okay, so I want you to lean back. So again, what we're going to do is that same movement. We want to get extension over that foam roller. Okay, so similar principle. I want you to brace first your lumbar spine. Okay, squeeze, and then I want you to reach back with both arms. So arms straight, and reach back as far as you can, far as you can, far as you can, far as you can, and relax, coming forward. Now, a big compensation that I see all the time is that the hips will elevate. So let's do that just to show. So arms back and elevate those hips. See, we're trying to compensate by moving here, not here. So make sure that glute stays on the floor, abs tight, and we're getting actual extension through that T-spine. So reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back. Real winces. I didn't tell them to do that. And come back up. And reach back as far as we can. Let's do it again. Reach, 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 reach. Good. And come back up. And same principle as those lacrosse balls. So sit up for me. We want to roll down just a little bit, about 2 inches or so. Lean back. Abs nice and tight. Again, keeping those hips down. We're going to reach back as far as we can. Getting that extension. See it over that foam roller. Reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back. And relax. Coming up. Let's do one more. Reach back as far as we can. Reaching. Good. The opposite of sitting. Right here. And coming up. Relax. Excellent. So once we've spent, anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes kind of trying to get some movement in those muscles that don't tend to move, we then want to do some type of corrective exercise. So I want you to go forward for me. Okay, so this is more of a mobility drill. So what I want you to do is kind of get in that deep squat position, feet shoulder apart. I want you to put your right hand forward. So we're going to brace against the floor here. Okay, so again, always important, squeezing the stomach because we don't want to get movement through here. We want to get movement through here. Okay, so we're going to squeeze, abs nice and tight. I want you to put your left hand behind your head. And I want you to dip in. So we're going to rotate all the way in, squeezing the stomach, and then we rotate up. So we're going to open up, open up, open up as far as we possibly can, and back down. Give me another one. Make sure this arm stay nice and straight. Pushing into the turf, opening up, and back down. Good, let's do one more. Squeeze that stomach. Again, we don't want to move to the lumbar. And open up as far as we can, far as we can, far as we can, and relax. With this, again, we want to go kind of in that 10 to 15 to 20 rep range. We want to get movement back here. We want to get blood flow to those muscles, okay? Last one here, I want you to come up to your feet. This is a slight progression, similar movement. If you can't deep squat, then I would suggest you start on the floor. If you can and have no issue, then you can stand up. All right, so I want you to get in a deep squat for me. So we're going to press our heel or our weight on our heels back here. We want to keep that chest nice and proud. Okay, so both hands on the floor for me. We're going to rotate our right hand. So again, similar movement, just a progressed position. So I want you to push with your left hand against the turf. Abs nice and tight so the lumbar spine doesn't move, and I want you to open up that right arm. So we're opening up, opening up, opening up, opening up, push against that knee, and then back down. And make sure also that that chest doesn't fall. We don't want to round forward. So let's do it again. Nice and tall, proud chest, push against that knee, open up that thoracic as much as possible. And back down. Good, let's do one more. Again, push against that knee, chest up. Good. And relax. Rep range again is similar, 10 to 15 reps on each side. We want to get as much blood flow and movement as possible. Next time we're going to move down the kinetic chain. I want to address some of the issues of tight hips and the anterior pelvic tilt. Hope those help. Try them, and I'll see you later.